A lot of people tend to get offers wrong when it comes to starting social media marketing agency or even a coaching business. Now, an offer is not your product, it's not your service, it's not your guarantee, it's not your price, it's none of these things. And I actually had a question pop up a few times on how do you actually go about making an offer. So in today's video, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen on my iPad and I'm going to go over the exact steps of how you go about creating an offer for your agency. The key thing here is I'm not going to tell you a bunch of offers that you should use because I don't want you guys to go ahead and just copy me or anyone else. The real key to success with crafting an offer that is so compelling that it makes outreach, client acquisition easy is to come up with an offer on your own. Something that's unique and something that truly resonates with the market. Now, an offer is essentially the way you present yourself, your business, your product, your service to the market, right? In one sentence or two sentences max, right? It means what you do, what you promise, the guarantee involved, the time frame involved, dream outcomes that you're going to achieve for your clients, and the pain points you're going to diminish for your clients, right? And then you basically take that offer and you present it to your market. And if you taken the time to follow my step-by-step process today, then essentially, outreach is going to be just easy for you, right? Because if you get the offer side of things right in the first time, and then you go ahead and position in front of your target audience, then it's obviously going to be easy for you to then book appointments and then to sign on new clients because your offer is simply resonating. So let me pull up my iPad screen right now, and we are going to basically identify the problems with offers these days, right? So, problems. What are the problems? Copycats, right? Excuse my handwriting, by the way. Wasn't always the best one in that field, but yeah. So problems with today's offers. Copycats, right? Crazy guarantees, which puts you in a lot of risk, right? And then what tends to happen when everyone kind of uses the same offer, right? I actually had a call with an agency owner the other day, and his offer was Google My Business Optimization for free, then we will develop your website, right? And I was like, okay, where did you get the offer from? And he said well, usually it's a community, a coach, right, tells his students to use this offer, right? So what tends to happen is you have one offer, and that's presented to, let's say 1,000 agencies. Those 1,000 agencies then go and say, take that offer and present it to the market, right? So what tends to happen is that the business owner who is receiving the offer is getting 10 messages a day with that same one offer, right? And then the business owner probably worked with that offer before, right? So if everyone's using the same thing, then he probably worked with someone that had the same offer before. So what tends to happen is they usually have a bad experience with that offer, and they then start to classify that offer as the same offer as all the other agencies use. And that means it no longer resonates with them, right? It no longer interests them. They've heard this before. They've worked with someone before that had the same offer, and it no longer resonates with them. And this is why it then gets hard to book appointments, right? This is why it gets hard to book appointments, because essentially the offer just becomes saturated. And this actually answers my sort of the second questions I get is is my niche saturated? Should I go into a different niche? And my answer to that is no niche is ever saturated, right? No, a niche is simply a market that a business operates in. It's the environment that the business operates in. It's always going to exist, no matter whether you like it or not, no matter if you're in business or not. It's always going to exist as an environment, right? So you gotta think of yourself as the player within that environment, right? So the environment basically rewards players that get adapted with better traits for survival, right? But if, let's say, your trait is that offer that you're presenting that thousands of other agencies are using, then you are probably not going to survive, right? Because you haven't been able to adapt to the current market of that one offer being saturated and the business owner not wanting to book an appointment with you because they've seen that offer 10 other times. So what tends to happen is that agency owners will go ahead, reach out to business owners with that one single offer, not get any appointments, and then they will think that the niche is saturated, right? And again, I'm here to tell you that a niche is never saturated. It's always usually the offer. And this is why this process is super, super important to get right, because if you are able to come up with something where you kind of take it to the market and it resonates with someone and it acts as a pattern interrupter, meaning it's different from everyone else, then you are going to book appointments on autopilot in an easy fashion. So I got some notes here of what I want to go through. So yeah, how do you actually come up with an offer? Let's go over that process, right? So step one, and if you watch any of my other videos, you know how much I basically preach this. And this is, a lot of agencies tend to like skip this whole thing, right? Because an offer, a niche basically gets handed to them these days and they don't even think about doing their own research. So maybe you watched some YouTube videos, maybe you've watched or went through a program where they told you to use this offer. You never really thought about or like did some critical thinking on that offer or niche, right? So the first thing I do, right, is market research. I want to go and interview at least 5 to 10 people within my market, right? And then within that market, within 5-10 people, I can find them on Facebook groups, Instagram, Reddit, right? You essentially want to find a community of your niche and message people there and ask them to interview, right, for the interview. It doesn't have to be a Zoom call or anything like that. It can be a text message interview. All we need to get here is get sort of direct insights from each individual, right, with their own unique experiences. The questions we're going to ask is mainly about their experience with our service. So if we're offering like Facebook ads, we can ask them, have you ever run Facebook ads? What do you feel? How do you feel about Facebook ads? Have you ever worked with an agency? How was your experience with that? Do you believe in Facebook ads? You just want to ask them a bunch of questions in order to understand their experience with your service and the agency market or the industry that you're in. Now, once you've done that, second thing you want to do is go onto Quora, Reddit, answerthepublic.com, or any of these type of websites and basically search up what people are asking, right? So if you're in the home improvement niche, for example, and you want to find out what people are talking about when it comes to your service, then you can go onto Answer the Public, Reddit, Quora, or any of these sort of platforms and just search up like how to run Facebook ads for home improvement businesses. And then you can see the discussions that people are having regarding what you offer, right? So you then got to understand, basically get an understanding of how people feel about Facebook ads and how people feel about marketing agencies, right? Or how people feel about client acquisition in general, right? So what's their experience of getting clients and appointments for their business? You want to understand that, right? So let me write this down here. Understand experiences in client acquisition your service, the market, and agencies. Like what was it like for them to work with another agency? So after this, you then want to go and understand your competitive landscape, right? So what are competitors currently doing within your market? What is the offer that is being presented the most? For example, I can tell you for a fact in the home improvement niche, all of the competitors in the space are basically saying, we'll get you 10, 15 appointments in 30 days and it's only pay per appointment, right? So that's the current offer that is kind of circling around that I've seen a lot, right? So I will note down all the offers that I come across and I'll try to find or spot a pattern of what type of offers are being presented in the market. So list of competitor offers. So that's step one, market research, right? The second thing I would do is I would go ahead and understand psychology. So I'm gonna link in the description, and I mentioned in my last video, a codex of people's heuristics, right? Heuristics are basically mental shortcuts that the brain created in order to conserve energy, right? So you wanna understand these heuristics. Trust me, it will be very, very useful for you to do so, right? Heuristic can be loss aversion, could be social heuristics, and other stuff, right? So basically these heuristics will teach you how the brain works and how the brain receives information, and then you can then use this in your marketing messages and your offers and so forth, right? Then the marketing sales, it's all psychological, so it's important to understand human psychology and how the brain works. So that's the second thing I would do, is I would go and learn and study different heuristics and basically try to pick out some heuristics that I can implement within my offer. So maybe loss aversion, right? For example, it could be like, this is only available to the next 5 business owners that come and work with me, right? So this is like a loss aversion, urgency, and so forth. So go study these heuristics and pick out maybe 5 or 2 or 3 that you can use within your marketing messages and your offer. So now that we've got these two, right, I now want you to understand the bridge analogy, right? So think of your target audience as in point A, right? You want to define their point A. What is their current situation? What is their point A, right? So it could be burnt before, they are cold calling is painful, they have no consistency, they're relying on referrals, and stuck at 10K per month, right? So you understand the current situation, and you can understand that by doing the market research from step 1, right? And then you want to understand their point B in terms of like, what do they want to achieve? What is their future state, right? So predictable acquisition system, right? Consistency, no more cold calling, they want to scale to 30K per month. How many leads can they handle? Maybe they want 40 leads a month or so, right? And this, again, you will understand by doing market research. So now the bridge analogy is essentially you want to come in and offer your system, your service basically, as the bridge between point A to point B, right? So you gotta be the bridge, right? This is you right here. Just smiley face. So this is you, the bridge, right? So your offer should essentially act as a bridge between point A to point B, right? When people read that, they have to think of a bridge. Okay, so I'm currently doing this, I'm cold calling and stuff like that. this guy comes up to me and says, I can, scale to 30K per month without cold calling. Okay, that's cool. Right, so your offer is the bridge, right? This is what an offer is, bridge between point A to point B. So now, once you've understand all of this, we then want to start coming up with offers, right? How do I put text? All right, so offer one, right? We want to call out our target audience, stuck at 10K per month. Home improvement businesses stuck at 10K per month. We guarantee to scale your business to 30K per month without you doing any cold calling, relying on referrals, and constantly being stressed about inconsistency with your quotes, right? If you don't make 30K per month in 90 days, we will refund you in whole, plus work for free for the next 6 months. Right, so this is an offer, right? Here, what we're doing is we're calling the target audience out, right? We then state our guarantee. So the dream outcome, what do they want? 30K per month, as we established here, right? So again, you always want to think that we're acting as a bridge. So the guarantee, without pains from current situation, and then a risk reversal. Right? So that's an offer, right? If we were to go and place that offer here, this would essentially act as a bridge between point A to point B, right? So point A, right? You're stuck at 10K per month. We guarantee you to scale you to 30K per month. You won't have to do any of your current situation stuff, such as cold calling, relying on referrals, and constantly being stressed out. And we provide a risk reversal to make that bridge as stable as possible, right? To make them believe and have confidence that we can actually do what we say we're doing, right? As a bonus, you could create curiosity. So I never say in my offers what my actual service is, right? If it's Facebook ads, I never mention Facebook ads. So all of this with and I give it a name, right? My system a name, right? Your system is not Facebook ads, right? Your system is like a unique combination of yourself, your team members, any automations that you use, any softwares that you use, any the Facebook ads you use, the ad copies you use within your Facebook ads, ad creative. This is all a system, right? It has inputs, it has processes, and it has outputs, and it has a feedback loop, right? Facebook itself is not a system itself. So give your system a unique name, right? You could say AI marquee system, right? Because this just kind of solidifies the bridge further, right? The bridge is called the marquee system. Our marquee system will get you from point A to point B, right? So now what I want to do with this offer, let me just increase the thickness. Yep. So now what I want to do with this offer is basically okay. is test it out. All right, I'm gonna take this offer and send it, through cold emails, cold DMs, in Facebook groups, LinkedIn outreach, any deployment method that you choose. Right, I'm gonna test it out on 500 to 1,000 leads. Right, so I'm gonna send this offer to 500,000 leads. Right, and after I send it to 500,000 leads, I'm gonna read my metrics in terms of like positive responses I got, negative responses I got, the appointments I booked, open rates, and so forth. Right, so I'm gonna look at my metrics and I'm gonna gather feedback. Right, so I'm gonna gather feedback. Okay, so did I have a lot of positive responses? Okay, out of those positive responses, did I book any calls? Did I have a lot of negative responses? Out of those negative responses, what happened, right? So I'm just trying to feel sort of the response of my offer from the market, right? And once I get an understanding on how the market is responding to my offer, I'll then, if I need to fix it, right, if it's not yielding me or going within my KPIs or yielding me any appointments, I'll go back to step one, and I'll basically see what else can I do, what else can I research, what am I missing, right? So maybe it's the wording that I got wrong, maybe it's something else, maybe they don't really want to get 30 to 30k per month, maybe what they want is appointments or quotes or more quality projects, right? So I'm gonna try and find out how can I make this offer resonate even more. So once I do that, right, for my next test, I'm gonna change one of the variables, right? The call out, the guarantee, the pains from current situation, and the risk reversal within my offer, right? Because I don't want to change the whole offer off the bat. I want to change the parts of the offer. So maybe I change my call out, right? Maybe I change it to 15k per month, right? Maybe I change my guarantee, right, for the next test. Maybe I change my pain points or problems from current situation stuff. Maybe I change my risk reversal, right? These things you want to test out one by one, right? Because you don't want to make a drastic change on your whole offer, because if the next test you get results, you won't really know what caused these results, right? Maybe it was your risk reversal guarantee, maybe it was the way you called them out, maybe it was the dream outcome that you're promising to them, right? So you want to test it one by one, and this is how you essentially build proven offers, right? And then once you find an offer that is getting you good responses and people are booking in and they're resonating with it and it's a bit different from what the market is doing, then you can scale it up with more volume. So simply inputting more leads into the system, right? On your cold emails, cold DMs, or anything that you are using, right? So yeah, this is essentially how I go about creating offers. Like, an offer, it can be creative. Like, there's no structure to an offer, right? An offer is simply the bridge that you're creating and how you communicate that bridge to your market, right? So take this home, use it, right? Come up with a bunch of offers, pick the best one, start testing it, whether you can test it manually, whether you can test it, on autopilot, just test it, gather some feedback, create a feedback loop system, and constantly iterate on the offer until you find something that resonates. Because once you find something that resonates, trust me, appointments, outreach, getting appointments, closing clients will be way, way easier for you because the offer will essentially do most of the selling for you. So yeah, this has been offer creation. I hope I was able to convey what I was trying to convey with this. If you have any questions, comment down below and make sure to join my free community in the link in the description, because I am coming out with a free training very, very soon. And once that's out, I'm going to close the group off to test that free training in order to make sure that it actually gets people results. So click the link in the description, make sure to join that free community. And yeah, so that's that. And also make sure to check out my free training on YouTube. I'll link that in the description as well, about how I was able to scale my new offer from 0 to 25k per month in just 60 days. Very interesting video. Go ahead and make sure you check that out as well. But apart from that, I'll see you on the community. We are going to have weekly group coaching calls. So I feel like that will be pretty valuable for you guys, alongside with the free training on how basically to start and scale a marketing agency.